Oh.
Recruiting?
Yeah, hang on. 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, this is the last part of the FOD Guild meeting. We're going to open discussions about recruiting. Wolf, you have the floor. Go.
Yeah, Jolie brought up a good question about recruiting and who has access to the banks and what level they should be, so we should probably talk about that. I think Jolie should actually start it if she has any questions.
Well, simply because of past experience, recruiting is a tough thing to do because nobody likes to kick people out of guilds. So I think if you're prudent up front with your recruiting, and by prudent I mean having this discussion and deciding what our recruitment style, method, or rules are going to be, I think in the long run it's going to be just a happier camper all the way around. I know we had a discussion about keeping it small, but looking towards having the, what is it, the 26-man raid group. So some of the things that have come up in the past in my experience with recruiting was new applicants being a certain level in the game. And I think in the COC, well, no, I actually sent you a recruitment. They like people to get to a certain level in their tune. To prove that they are indeed going to buy the game, or well, in some cases where gaming is free, they're going to stick with the game, and that whatever resources you're going to apply into them, in return, they're going to be good members. The other thing is whether we're going to recruit. Cold call recruiting, I think is what they call it, whether or not you actually personally know somebody that you're going to refer to the guild and fill out an application, or if you're just going to put it like on the internet and anybody can, like I think what's been happening, the way we've been getting our members. And if we're going to continue doing that, and having a screening committee, or having Sivu screen them all, or so, yeah, I think it's something that we need to put a good amount of thought in.
Zup.
I think there's 3 points I would like to touch on there. So I think the level range and class thing makes sense for recruitment as we get closer to endgame. I don't think we can define a certain level at the outset of the game. I think more importantly, it's someone that kind of fits our style. So as you're out and about grouping, maybe you invite somebody that's a non-guild member into your group. Tell them to come check us out. With that said, everyone should go through the recruitment process, because that is just a great period for them to get to know us and us to get to know them. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, no hard feelings. And then number 3, if you know somebody, by all means, that holds weight as you recruit them, but they should still be a recruit, and I think they do need to follow some of the requirements. I do think age is an appropriate thing. That's all I got on that.
Wolf.
I think we should probably not have a limit on what level they should be when we recruit, just because the game's starting out, of course. But I've met some people that have level 50 characters, and they start at level 1, and you team up with them, and they're real cool, and you want to invite them. So if he wasn't a level 1 character and we both started on the quest, there's no way I would have invited him because of his level. Putting restrictions on levels is basically restricting our membership. And to be honest, we're not that big of a guild right now to get new members. Invite should be open as far as I'm concerned right now. We can maybe change that rule later. I'm not sure how Sivu wants us to handle that, so I'll Sivu, what are your thoughts on that?
Actually, I remember when when we played DC, we would always team with the guy first, and then we'd play with him, and then we'd all talk about it. But this game is going to be totally different because, you know, I respect everybody's input. If Jolie's playing with somebody, and she says this guy's or girl is really cool. I was talking to her. She seems like he or she's got a great sense of humor. Um, I mean, the age he's like 25-ish, almost 30-ish. You know, you might want to take a look at. He might be a good person, or she might be a good person for the guild. And I do agree with you, Wolf, with it being so early. We need to, kind of wait and see what's going to really be too picky, but we have to be very picky because um, I don't want to ruin the people that we got in here right now. I don't want someone coming to Odin and giving him shit because I will go off on them. They're like, see the bad side of me, and I don't want to see that. I don't want to show that. But I'm done reckoning, and after reckoning is going to be show. Go ahead.
The one thing I did want to touch on, because a lot of this content will go to YouTube and or be live stream, we will get people to have the custom perfect application. So we do need to make sure we're grouped with them and have chatted with them as a recruit status first.
All right, show.
When it comes to the applications, how's it decided if the person gets in or not? I mean, can't someone, if one person says, yeah, I want this person in the guild, can someone else say, well, no, I don't because of this, that, and the other?
Actually, it's happened. Actually, I told Wolf that I didn't. Wolf asked me, said, "Hey, man, I got this application here, and you haven't put anything on." I said, "Yeah, I know. I don't want him in the guild, but I wanted to see what your output was on it." He goes, "Well," he asked me why. I mean, Wolf actually said, "Why you don't want him?" I mean, he looks pretty good. I said, "Well, because he's in multiple guilds, and I don't want that." And then Wolf said, "Oh, yeah, he is in multiple guilds." And then Wolf sent him a letter and saying, "Sorry, at this time, we're not so much going to do it." I wasn't going to send him a letter, but Wolf's like, "We can't do that, Tony." And I was like, "Okay." So he sent him a letter and said, "Hey, at this time we can't, we're not going to accept your applications. Maybe some of the other guild will be for you."
So does that mean that all applications should be reviewed by all officers so we all have a say?
I would like that. Yeah, I would like for you guys to look at the applications. To be honest with you, the more the way I think the more input I have, it's just like we did in Star Wars when douchebag started his shit. All of us was down there in the officers chat and we was talking about it, and it was all anonymous. Dumb shit's got to go. So, and that, yeah, I mean, if you want us to get you on that application to review, I am all on board about that. If you want to do that, that's cool by me.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure that we don't get the wrong type of people in the guild.
That is cool by me, my brother. Then we'll make sure that me and Wolf will we'll put you on the thing there so you can review it and put your. You know what? That's a good. What if what should we do? Well, actually, I'm gonna let Reckoning say what he's got to say. Go ahead, Zup.
So there's two thoughts I got here. Is what comes first, the chicken or the egg here? If we find someone in game, can we throw them a recruit invite and say you got to put in your application, so that way we get tied name to application to talk about it, or the other way around, you got to have an application before we throw you an invite. And number two, I kind of like the way we've been doing it to date is discussing. Here's the list of new applicants we got. And that way we could talk to comments. I don't know, maybe weekly we process it.
That'd be awesome. I'm all
I think
for that.
I think there should be some kind of system though where if you, let's say you meet someone random during a quest and you play, half the day with that person and you like them and you want to invite them, I think that should at least kind of give them I don't want to say a leg up, but the fact that you've kind of field tested them, that should help them somewhat.
Sorry, I did have one more piece to that.
Who's next? Okay, go ahead, Zach.
Do we have on the application who they know, who they've grouped with, something?
We do have on the application how did you find out about us? And I think Jolie put or somebody put through Google. Google. So yeah, there is a place for them to say yeah, or yeah, Shoden. They can put Shoden sent me this website or whatever, what have you. Yes, there is something there. All right. After's up is Tarl.
When I played Final Fantasy, when the guild I was with there, they had what was called a probationary period. You weren't actually a part of the guild, but they ran with you and hung out with you for, well, they did it for a month. And that way all the officers got to run a dungeon with you or a raid or something. And then they made a decision. And we had great people in that guild, down to the last person.
Are you finished? Beth?
And I'm finished, sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Wolf, go ahead.
I've been in a guild where we would have to have sponsors. The person that invited them to the guild would introduce them to officers, make sure they get their application in. They would have to have, I don't know, if there's 5 officers, 3 out of 5 officer votes in, otherwise they don't get accepted. And then there was a time limit. If they weren't reviewed in that time, then we could extend it or we could have them reapply. So I don't know how you want to handle that. I'm done.
I like Shoden said, what if Shoden was playing with a person all day long? I think they still need to go through the application process, and then we review them. Like Shoden said, I mean, if I play with him all day long and he fit in, I mean, he would be a perfect fit with us. And I mean, he would have to apply, and then I think we should before we give him, total, bring him into FOD, we as officers talk to him and ask him a couple questions. I mean, if we're rolling with them, there's not too many people that Shoden actually would bring to the say, hey, this guy's a pretty good guy, unless he really thought that person would be a good fit for the guild. So I say that they still need to go through the interview process. I mean, the application process, and then an interview process, either by 2 officers, or 2 officers and myself. If I'm not on, 2 officers can do it, and they can say, yep, you're good to go. So that's what I think should happen. But I'm still going to get everybody's input. Jolie, what's your input? Jolie?
Oh, hey, I forgot to push my button down. I think as far as the recruitment, the application has to be first. I think everybody should fill out an application with no exception. And I do appreciate about the grouping with somebody and getting to know them, but I think it's imperative that um, they fill out an application and be reviewed by the officers because uh, being I'm the only woman on deck, some guys can be real douches around women, and you guys would never know that if they were just grouping with you, and you were having your mano y mano experience with them, and then I could have grouped with them and found out that they were just absolute douches to women. So I think that's important, and I'm done. Oh, can I just say one more thing? I think we should.
It'll cost you.
I know. I know. I'm gonna pay in the long run. Um, somebody had mentioned about a probationary period, and I don't know if our guild allows for like your level. Your first level is recruit, and then you're a recruit for until you're promoted to a level of permanency where you're a member. So you're a recruit first, then a member, then an officer, and then, you know, an omnipotent being. Now I'm done.
All right, Zup, you're next.
That actually touches on what I wanted to talk to there. Is number one, we can only have 4 ranks in the guild, right? Or can we have a 5th? Or 6th or whatever, as many we want.
No, I think it's only, I think it's only 4, isn't it not?
There's the guild leader, which takes 1 spot. There's the officers that can add and remove users and promote and demote and also access the guild bank. There are members, which can access and withdraw and deposit in the bank. And there is recruit. Recruit cannot add or remove anything in the bank, and they cannot add or promote or demote anybody in the guild. That is it.
That's got to be configurable at an officer level at some point, or
No.
guild leader.
No, that's configurable to a limited extent. Those are the 4 ranks that ESO gave us. They may add more ranks later, or allow you to.
So I mean the options of what each rank can do. It looked like there were checkbox options.
There are, but it's very limited.
Yep, no, that's fine.
You only have 3 spots.
So the point I was going to go after here is there's no reason that says that a recruit, we actually have to use the recruit slot in the guild as for recruits. We can have an officer, a team of members dedicated to watching the list of recruits on the boards, trying to group with them, have fun in that, and that, along with their application, gets them into the first rank in the guild, which we're going to call recruit because we can't change the name.
Well, let me add something.
I think the application should get them into the recruit position. If we accept them in through the application, then I say, like you just said, Zup, is have them team with different people and to see how they, if they're going to fit in. Have a certain group that teams with people, that comes in and feels them out for the guild. And maybe that's a rank due later on is give somebody like Jolie or somebody a recruitment rank. They're the recruiter. You know, it's like boot camp. You go through her boot camp and camp, then you're good to go. So I mean, we're going to have to do that because I mean, I'm trying to protect what we've got, so we have to do that. I mean, if Tarl's playing and he sees the newbie on there and he says, "Hey man, you want a team?" The guy says, "Yeah." And then if him and Tarl is if he comes in and plays with Tarl and he's a loot monkey, a loot whore, then Tarl's going to come back and say, "Hey Sivu, douche bag material. Let me tell you, I couldn't even." But that won't be an issue because the loot is, you get your own loot. But I mean, there could be like boxes or crates. Every crate that we came upon, he was right there in front of me, using his lock picks and trying to get it before me. So I mean, little things like that tells a whole lot about a person. I mean, he's jumping in front of me. I mean, it was just like the 4-man dungeon with Zen or Xander. The man opened up all the boxes. He put them in chat. No one told him to do that. He did that himself, and I was like, damn. There you go, little big guy. I mean, he took it upon himself to put that in chat and say, "Hey, you guys need this," you know. And I was like, "Damn, that's awesome." I mean, you that wasn't even, but that's what we're looking for. We're looking for. You don't have to say, "Hey, don't be stingy with it. Put it in chat and see if anybody needs it." We need to keep that in mind when we look for these people because we don't want people in here that's gonna bring us down. I mean, we got a great group of people here. I know you did. That was a hell of a way to find him, Wolf. And didn't you find him in beta?
Well, it's not my turn to talk, but he seemed like a real nice guy. I teamed with him, and yeah, turned out real good.
See, I mean, and you even had him go through the application form. So
Yes, I
I'm
did.
sorry, that went totally too long than I thought it was going to. Who's next? I lost count here. Well, if I mean, you're the only one with the thing behind your name, you go.
Okay, well, what Steve was just talking about, during beta, I did meet Alex. He seemed like a real nice guy. We teamed up, did a lot of stuff. We got separated when he came back the next day, but he was cool with it, continuing on his own. We kept in chat on in game, and every once in a while he would just say, "Hey, how you doing? What you doing?" And I said, "Here's our website. Check it out if you're interested." And he ended up joining, and seems like a real nice guy. No problems with him so far. Those are the kind of people we're looking for. If you end up teaming with somebody and inviting them to the guild, I think that they should be set as a recruit so they can't get into the bank. If ESO ends up giving us more ranks, so we can set recruits as no access, and then set, I don't know, the next rank up from recruit would be private. We could set 2 different ranks without bank access to check them out. That would be great, but it's not an option right now. I wanted to find out from everybody, how long do you think we should keep somebody in recruit status if we're still iffy on letting them join? Like 2 weeks, 3 weeks? What do you think?
I would say, Julie, go ahead.
I think it would hinge entirely upon what you're iffy about. If you're iffy about them, being, ninja looters, or if you're iffy about them being, abrasive, or like not appropriate on the um streaming, or I think it depends on what we're iffy about.
So
With the time constraint, the thing that does come to mind is it also depends how often they play, and they need to be able to group with us enough. If they're on, I don't know, most often during the week, I'd say 30 days is a fair amount, or is a good mark. If they're on once a week, it's got to be a bit longer, I think. All right.
Wolf?
Well, the 30-day minimum is a bit much. After knowing Alex for, what is it, 2 or 3 days in beta, and then the next beta after that, as far as I'm concerned, he was one of the better guys I met online. And I'm glad we didn't wait 30 days, because he might have lost interest and found somebody else to go with. So maybe we should, I don't know, if enough guild officers have met the person and he seems like okay, we could let him join the guild early, but maybe 30 days is the max they can be a recruit. There has to be a decision at that point.
all right, Julie, go ahead.
I think it should be totally contingent on the person. Um, I think he makes a very good point. You're going to meet somebody, you're going to group with them a few times, and you're going to know right off the bat. And I don't see why they should have to wait 30 days, because we could lose a really good player. Officers are going to be meeting enough that you're going to be talking about recruits, um, and it's an officer's choice, and they decide how long it's going to be, and they'll let you know um, if your status changes.
I agree on that. You know what? I think if we got somebody that, let's say Odin's playing with some dude, and he's been playing with him all day long, and he comes up to Wolf and says, "Wolf, dude, you need to talk to him and see if he fits. Say you guys are the same level, you guys run around doing some missions together, and Wolf, fills him out in that time that he's playing with him. Rank for new members. I think we're gonna have to wait until we get in game and see how things. Because what I'm thinking, and I want to run it past the officers before I blurt it out, but I think we have to wait to end game and see how we're doing, see how we're rolling, see if once that first week is under our belt, let's decide then who can change ranks. Because I want people that's going to be knowledgeable. See that's the thing that I don't have to worry about Wolf or Zuppy or Shoden, because I've been around them so long, and I know what they know what we need into the guild. As soon as I get to know Odin and Tarl, and they'll know how I play, and I know how Tarl plays, and Odin plays, and Jolie plays, and it'll be second nature, and they'll know what kind of person I'm looking for, and they'll come to me. They'll come to me and say, "Hey, Sivu, dude, this guy's pretty good." Or a female comes. Jolie's been playing with a female for the last week or so, and say, "Hey, she's really cool. There's no drama to her. She's really funny. She's helped me out. She's gave me a couple items I didn't even ask for them." Or, until we get into the game and start feeling each other out and knowing how we play, knowing what we like, knowing how we kid around, I think it's just going to have to be next meeting, because until we get in and get it rolling and start seeing what we're doing, then we'll make that decision then, I guess. Do you guys agree with that?
Yes, bring us more women. Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Wolf's got to be the odd man out. Go ahead, Wolf.
Of course. Well, if we're going to do heavy recruiting, it should start at the beginning of the game, because that's when everybody starts on their quests. And it's not about loot, it's more about learning how to use your character and level. So I think recruiting should start early. Are you going to let anybody that's a current member recruit guilds, like new members for the guild? And if they recruit, are they allowed to invite them to the guild as a recruit without bank access?
Well, I want to discuss that with you and Shoden and Zuppy in the officers chat after the meeting.
Okay, so we're putting that on hold. Okay.
Yeah. All right. What else do we got? We got 3 minutes. Zuppy gave us a 30-minute warning.
Well, if I still have the floor, I think we covered everything so far about recruiting new members and new recruits and what we're looking for the recruits. Next subject is how big should our guild become? I guess that's something to do with recruiting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Honestly, that's got to be a next time topic, because we're not going to hit max size in the next 2 weeks, and we won't know what the right size is until we get in game. Agreed? Disagreed? Thoughts?
I agree.
Well, we know we're going to need to have enough people to have a raid, a campaign.
Right, but we're not going to be able to. Well, just for shit kicks and giggles, do it like this. Let's say, start off,
We need 25 people to do a raid. Okay. And then once we get in the game and we start getting people doing PvP, then we'll come back and we'll discuss the PvP part, the PvP issue. Let's go for 25 members in the guild for just starters. And then once we reach that goal, once we reach 25 good players, then So it's gotta go lower.
No, raids are 24. Sorry. I think.
Raids are 24. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's do 25. We got, we might have to kick somebody out. 25 is our round number. We'll go to 25, and that is our main goal for right now. While it launches, at launch, 25 is our goal for the guild. You're right. But let's just hit that number. Let's go to that number, and let's see what kind of individuals are out there. Let's see how hard it's going to be to recruit in game, out of game, what have you. And then because it's going to take some time for us to get to that 25 mark or 24 mark for raids, gear, and so on and so forth. Because yes.
You guys ready?
Ready.
All right, so I think we don't have any more topics to discuss. Anybody have any questions? This is open right now. Any other topics that we should talk about that are not on hold? Live streaming.
Damn
okay.
it. Goes
We
up.
forgot about that.
Sorry. That's just one of the things we got to cover because that will happen at launch. I do live stream. I do record for YouTube and stuff. I will try to make a channel in Mumble when I'm doing that. Just be aware that whatever room I'm in, I may be doing that, and anyone else who's live streaming, you may want to make that aware to everyone. So when you pop into Mumble and start chatting, you may want to just ask if we're live streaming. It's not always true, but that way you don't reveal, any more information to the public than you want to.
All right, I got a question for Tarl and Zup.
Are you guys going to be live streaming for walkthroughs, or are you going to do just certain aspects of it? Wolf, go for it.
I know that Zuppy or Reckonham, Tarl, and Odin, I believe, if I'm correct, Odin, you live stream a lot as well. Can you answer for me?
Not really, Wolf.
Oh, I thought you did a lot of live streams. Okay, well, our main live streamers are Reckonham and Tarl. So if we do open a live stream chat, whoever joins, you should probably warn that you are live streaming. That way they don't end up saying something before they ask.
I would say if we're in the channel live streaming, the assumption is we are.
Okay. The other thing is, I'm not sure if everything that goes on with the guild should be posted on YouTube. I've made a lot of mistakes while playing, and I've been a jerk at times. So, if you're gonna, most of the time, but there are some raids that go bad, and you can tell there's stress between members that we're trying to do the raid, and it doesn't make us look good. So I prefer those not being posted if possible. Done.
I have to agree with that one too. I show the best. Goes up.
Do you want those posted in the unlisted fashion so we can review them to maybe a private channel somewhere or something?
Good question.
Skipped you, brother. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. It got covered, so I'm good.
Okay, cool. Remember that run that we had, Zuppy, in Neverwinter Nights, that we did really extremely well.
And you said,
Well, I'm
so freaking.
live streaming this. Let's do it like that. I mean, you pretty much got a good feel for when we're firing on all cylinders and so on and so forth.
Honestly, what I will do with our raids is I will do it as a local recording for the time being. No live streaming. And we can talk to it afterwards. Maybe we can come to an agreement at some point when we've got a raid down to rocket science. Or from rocket science down to cookie cutter, we're going to win every time and it's going to look superb. Then we can live stream it. I don't know. As far as normal game when I'm playing and dying and learning and having fun, I'm apt to live stream that.
Okay. Just as long, that's cool. Just as long as if we're doing the dungeons and the 24-man or whatever we're doing, that's doing that kind of content. Like you said, let's just do that private streaming, and then until, like you said, we get to a cookie cutter concept, and then we can live stream it.
Sounds good to me.
The other piece, the other piece that goes with that is the other game channels in Mumble. Myself, if I'm on Minecraft, there's a fair chance I'm streaming that game, or whatever other game channel I happen to be in. 7 days, for instance. I'll probably try and create a sub. I don't know if we can create sub channels.
Hey, won't we do that? Won't we? Those you can make a temporary room. Won't you do that stuff? If you're taping ESO and you're doing your stuff, won't you make a temporary room the same as Tarl? If you guys are on Mumble, so we know that both of yous are recording, and if we're teaming with you, then we know to be a little bit of PG-13. How does that work for you?
Sounds good.
Yep.
Quick question about that. I don't.
Uh-huh.
I don't do live streaming, so I don't know all the ins and outs of it. But when you're live streaming, does the guild chat and the group chat show on the live stream?
It can. It depends how I have it configured.
Okay. So you would just have to be PG in your chatting also. That's all I need to know.
Not to interrupt, but it's not about being PG. I mean, I have a 18 plus channel. It's about not giving out personal information that you don't want the world to know.
Exactly. My channel is 18 plus now as well. Or mature content, but if you read your bank account on the internet, sorry. That's kind of the thing you don't want to give out. Or perhaps where you work, for instance, I will never say that. And you should never give out personal information about anyone else in the guild. So if you know my real name, please use Reckonym kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to tell everybody that I'm a constant bedwetter. Jesus Christ, I did it.
What do you mean by that, Todd?
Reckonum is not your real name.
It's my middle name.
His first name is Zuppy.
I
No.
know, I just got the Zuppy thing the other day.
All right, guys, is that all the topics that we got?
Open forum for anything else?
I want to talk about the plight of the unicorns while we're at it.
Yay, I like unicorns. Unicorns make me happy. Go Wolf.
Saw off their horns.
The what of the uniforms?
Plight.
Plight isn't that they still exist and we haven't killed them all yet?
Yeah, a little bit. You want to?
I don't talk unicorn.
Wolf, do you have something, buddy?
Yeah, I just wanted to go over what we still have on hold. Should we assign officers to guild banks and what guild banks we're going to have? How to become an officer and what the guidelines are? How many other guilds that members can join, that even if they stay with FOD? Let's see, another thing on hold is when we have our once a week or twice a week raid and what days, because we don't know each other's schedule. Let's see. We're not sure about recruitments or who can recruit or what rank we should give them. That's on hold. Same goes with what level that character should be or how long they should be with the guild before they become full members. And how, well, no, we decided that how big the guild should become. We decided 25 for now, and we may go larger. Is that correct?
10 for.
Did I miss anything?
I think with rating, I think it's not just the scheduling that's on hold, it's kind of the whole thing, even like impromptu until we know what we can do. We need to have a discussion about the whole context, I guess.
You know what? Did we even discuss anything about what everybody's going to play? What type of character?
Oh,
We're
I
all,
did.
we're all going to be mages.
Yeah. Yay!
I did put a little post on our forum, but there's not too many people that visit the forum, and then they see the main page and post there, which is fine. But I put a post up there like what today I even put up there like how many skill points are available in different areas, so you know where to concentrate if you want to get skill points.
do you have a sticky at the top of that, Wolf, or a knowledge of how many of what we got so far?
On what
Classes?
playing?
Yeah, main classes. Cleric, DPS, and tanks is kind of, I guess, the high level at the moment.
Well, Odin said Odin did say he was going to go tank.
I'm going where?
You're going tank, aren't you, Odin?
Yes, correct.
You just want to, if you know, do you want to rattle off just in chat here quickly what you think your main is going to be? If you're not sure, just say TBD or don't know, whatever.
PvE, Dragonite. I'm thinking of going legit. Maybe going dual with then a sword and board. Is my alternate.
Sorry, you could probably even be more generic than that. Tank, DPS, or healer.
Oh, tank. Well, DPS. Well, that's my main concern. To level up, I want to be offensive. So if I take the Ardent Flame skills, but that's for quickness. Then the Draconic skills are for tanking. So if I take all the tanking skills, take me forever leveling up. Unless I can reset those skills when I get to a higher level. Any input?
Wolf,
Yeah.
go ahead, buddy.
According to tons and tons of posts, there's going to be different shrines in all major cities. One of those shrines will let you do the Mara rings, like you can get experience with teaming with somebody else, being married. Another shrine is actually respecking. Now, since we haven't been able to get to those major cities, we don't know if it's based on your rank, how much money it would cost you to respec, but you're able to do it according to developers.
Okay, gotcha. Now, but also during that time that I'm more offensive, I'm a pretty useless tank. Until I get to that higher level, then I become a tank, hopefully a decent tank.
If I use Star Wars or the Old Republic as a reference, I had a trooper that I did all my skills in DPS so I could get through the smaller levels quickly, and then I respec'd as a tank, and then started working on my armor and defense.
That's the direction
know-
I was thinking of.
But you know what's Zup did make a good point. I think we was talking about this earlier in the meeting that you might be shooting yourself in the foot because your powers won't be as high. Do you know what I'm saying?
Very good. Yes, that's what bothers me too. Well, I could drag it out and just take that draconic skill line. Just stick with it. It'll just take me longer killing it. Because all that
Go
stuff
ahead,
is
Zup.
I just wanted to elaborate on powers. What I meant there is the skills you get from leveling your armor and your abilities as you go. So as I was leveling, like my bow, for instance, from 1 to 50, I was gaining those appropriate levels as I faced mobs that I benefited from them. If you go all the way to 50 with light armor as a tank, for instance, it might be very painful for you to get to 0 to 50 in heavy armor if you make the switch at level 50.
Wolf,
After Wolf, I gotta add something.
That's a very good point. I think the only way to find out would be to go to maybe level 5 or 10 and then switch over to the tank class and then see how hard it is for you to level. You may need help, or you may be doing offline quests or off-side quests to level your character in Cyrodiil or something, or maybe even PvP. So hopefully it doesn't come to that.
right.
Oh,
Well-
one more thing before I'm done. Sorry. Tarl, you had said that you want to be a Templar and you're going to do the solar line. Does that mean that you're DPS, and what race?
It's DPS off heal, but and I'm not married to either any of the races, whichever one's going to give me the best stats.
Okay, on that, on Odin and Tarls, Odin can put two pieces of armor type or 3 pieces of armor on and still get that level increase for that type of armor. Am I right or am I wrong?
Medium armor.
Okay, but if you had one piece of heavy armor on, say that you had a head piece of heavy armor,
Yeah.
would that not raise his heavy armor? I'm just saying for in-game content, and if he wants to go heavy armor, which he's probably going to do because he's a tank, and yeah, the weapons part. But I mean, the armor though, if he had 3 pieces of armor, well, I mean, if he's got a taunt, why would the weapons be an issue?
Because damage generally equals taunt. And
oh,
again, it might be very quick to level. I don't know. So that's kind of a open-ended thing. Just be aware of it. It might behoove you, if you switch tank back and forth, is to level all your weapons. Keep an eye on what you think might be a very good tanking weapon versus a DPS weapon, and keep balancing all that till you know for sure.
Yeah.
It goes for anyone, for that matter.
It's been going over in my mind. I think I'm just going to go start off with that the draconic line and go tank all the way, whatever length of time it takes me getting there. All that added bonuses and points I'll get from doing it will be worth it in the end.
All right, Julie, go for it.
I'm going to level 14s at a time. So I can have, I have attention deficit disorder. I can't play one tune forever for a long time. So I think my main is going to be the high elf that I've already created with destruction staff and restoration staff. So I think that's DPS and healing. And then I got an Argonian sword and board. And I got a Khajiit assassin.
Nice.
And I have a Britain, I think a necromancer, magical.
Oh,
I
Wolf,
don't want to.
go
I
ahead
don't
with.
want to tank though. But I'll off tank, but I don't want to tank.
Oh, you big weasel! Come on,
So
you know you want to tank. Go ahead, Wolf.
I believe Jolie just brought up a very important topic that we missed. How are we going to handle our main characters versus the alts that we also have?
Hang on, real quick. Tarl, thank you for coming to the meeting, buddy, and go ahead and deal with your little one, buddy.
All
See you,
right,
Taro.
see you later.
Later, Tal.
Bye bye.
Well, I don't know, bud. Honestly, to be honest with you, I mean, I guess we're just gonna have to wait until we get in the game and then hold that off.
I like to be able to switch characters out depending upon what we need in a 6-man or a raid.
Yeah, that I agree with. Let me know. I don't know who's next.
I believe it was B.
So as far as your main, I don't think we really need to declare that till we get to PvE rating type of stuff. Because honestly, as you play through a class, you might decide you hate it and just switch. That's the 1 to 50 figuring out what your main is. It does help to know because if you're sure what you're going to play already, it helps to know because it kind of drives balance to what we really need to recruit for the guild, and or like myself, for instance, I might switch a class if we got 10 healers and no tanks, I'll switch and play a tank if it drives us to be able to do stuff. That's just kind of how it rolls. And there was another point and I forgot it. Sorry. Next.
What was that?
You're next.
Oh, I didn't hear you. So the problem with leveling all those tunes at once is that if some people get higher up in level and start doing the other areas and they're trying to do raids or I don't know, dungeons or whatnot, they're going to be grouping with other people until you get a high enough character to join them in the other dungeons. Doing alts like that are fine if you have the time to get all the characters up to a certain level for raids. It's just, I've done the grind, especially in Star Wars. These guys can tell you how long I was on doing these damn alts of mine so I could play something the guild needed when necessary, and that just killed me. So I suggest picking a main, sticking with it. I know it might be hard, but it may help you in the long run. That's all I have to say.
I will. I'll do exactly that. I'll just have to when I'm bored. Well, you kind of I power level like 1 2, and I'll pretty much throw caution to the wind and just group and get through it and get done so that I can get that tune up as quick as I can. My alts, I will dilly dally and take my time, enjoy storylines, and I won't be in a big hurry. And they'll get there when they get there, if they get there.
They'll get there.
Oh, I still have very low level tunes in Star Wars, and I've been in it since the beta.
All right. Topics we got.
Sorry, last comment there with weapon leveling, I remembered. What I would recommend as you figure out your main and start playing it, pick a couple, 3 different weapons to level with. Because what wouldn't surprise me is if we get to a PvE end dungeon and we find the cleric, sword of Ubberdom, and we've been leveling resto stats the whole time, or vice versa. Doesn't hurt to try different weapons as you go, because you'll build up a couple of points. Bows, staves, swords, I don't know. That's it.
Wolf's next.
Yeah, we're gonna probably close the meeting soon. Everybody's getting tired. But to bring notice to everybody's attention, I did post a YouTube video about a first look at a group dungeon, and there is a healer in there that's actually a sorcerer class. That's a damage, but he's using a restoration class, and he's doing a really well or a good job healing his group. So don't think you're limited to playing the Templar to heal. I mean, that is a skill line that you can do for heals, or you can go with a Dragon Knight with heavy armor and use a restoration staff to heal. So you have to be careful though. Picking enough mana in order to heal the group might come into effect as well. So you have to be really careful what you choose. I'm done.
All right. Do we got anything else that we forgot to bring up? Going once, going twice. All right. We are adjourned.
Sounds good. See y'all in game.
Okay.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Good
Good night,
Recording.
guys.